Hey out there to all my friends at home, thank you so much for coming back to my garden. And today I am harvesting peppers from my potted pepper garden. If you've never seen any of my videos, the plants in my potted pepper garden are plants that would have a hard time in my in-ground garden beds. The capsicum, chinense, all the Superhots, and even the not hots from that family, they struggle. So like I have some Carolina Reapers here that are ready to harvest. They're gonna come off. I just harvested this yellow Moruga scorpion, and I'm gonna grab these Carolina Reapers and harvest a few more off of these plants over here. I have a bunch of ají dulces I want to take down. They're all ripening. I don't have any room in my freezer, or I'd be making sofrito out of these. It just is such a waste that they're ripening like this, and I just don't have any place to put them. My plants are all looking a little crappy right now because right in this section here, the white flies are trying to move in. So I don't know if you could, yeah, they're dirty little buggers sucking the life out of these plants. I'm gonna have to come through and spray with some neem. I try not to spray much of anything, but it is time. They need some help. I would like the last peppers and possibility of peppers off these plants. Anyway, I am going to start, or I should say finish picking. I have a big old pot, and with any luck we'll have a couple, well, hopefully maybe 3 or 4 more weeks of good harvest before it gets too cold and the plants give up the ghost. All right, the finished full pot. I only have one ají dulce in here. My husband picked it. The rest of these are Brazilian Starfish, monkey face yellow, that kind of unidentified yellow pepper. Chocolate Morugas, yellow Morugas. There's 1 or 2 Bahamian goats in there. Some a Bacatum hybrid that was supposed to be ají limon, and Carolina Reapers. Oh, there's Devil's Ribs, Boot Jalokia, and I'm actually not done. Haha, what am I thinking? The twins over here have a couple of peppers that I need to pick off of them. The Devil's Rib particularly, I mean, it barely looks like any from here, but there is a lot of peppers on that. There's only 1 or 2 on this girl right here. You can kind of see it if I like zoom in. So yeah, you can see that one red one in there. There's a couple, but there's more than a couple on the Devil's Rib. There's quite a few. Got a big old pot, but it is not full yet, and I got a few more to pick, so I will show you actually what it looks like when it is done. Alright, so I got these guys all picked out. There is a fair amount of green fruit on this plant here. This one looks like it might be ripening a little premature. We did get a couple of chilly nights, so I'm not super surprised. I think this is the only one I left on the plant with any color to speak of. There is a ton of green fruit on this as well. I think I'm going to pick a couple of ripe serranos off of this plant here. It's a 2nd year serrano, and it's just been going and going and going. Shows no signs of slowing down. Alright, all done. There were 3 ripe serranos. They're really tiny. They're like itty bitty. But that's it. That's this one I'm saving for seeds. I'm probably not going to eat that wrinkly guy there. But anyway, that was the total harvest. Well, it's not ginormous, but it's a pretty good sized little pot here, full of very hot peppers. So I'm going to go make some pepper sauce out of this because that is shelf stable, and I can store it in a cabinet or the fridge, and my freezer's chock full. So yeah, that's what I'm doing with it. Alrighty, this is the beginnings of my pepper sauce. I did go ahead and pull the seeds out of the chocolate Morugas. I'm breathing the fumes from this pepper right now. The oil inside, the fumes, everything are just lethal. So really excited to turn this into a pepper sauce. These pretty much aren't hot at all. I crunched these up. These are delicious little snacking peppers, but I don't really like them in my salsa. They made it way too sweet. This is a medley of unripe peppers. There's some devil's ribs, some serranos, a mystery plant that was growing in my yard that I think is a mix of jalapeno and maybe something like boot jalokia. Anyway, hopefully I'll get a nice little mix of color, red, green, and yellow. There's not enough of these chocolate ones. I shouldn't be touching those. I literally just washed them off. And I have a little cut right here, on my knuckle. And boy, I got some pepper juice up in there, and it is lit up at the moment. So if you have any nicks and cuts on your hands, you should probably wear gloves. Probably I should take my own advice there. But anyway, I am going to continue on and get this pepper sauce ready to go. And then I do have some leftovers right here. This big old bowl of mostly ghost peppers and devil's ribs. There's also, it's mostly ghost pepper, devil rib, and Brazilian starfish. But the reapers and the ghost peppers and everything else in here, I'm gonna go ahead and dehydrate them so I can have them as dried flakes all year. I just don't have any room in my freezer to put another anything at all. So anyway, that is kind of what I'm gonna do with today's harvest. Folks always ask me, what do you do with all those? Anything I can think of is the answer. And right now it's dry these, blend these into a fridge and shelf stable pepper sauce that'll last for months because I have no room in the freezer. Anyway, I will go ahead and get cracking on my pepper sauce. I need to get my culantro cleaned, my garlic and my shallots all ready to go. Oh yeah, baby, this is gonna be pretty delicious. Shallots, limes, a little bit of lemon, maybe a regular onion, but I may go with green onions. I have a bunch of big green onions out there, and those may have to hit the pepper sauce instead. So anyway, I'll make up my mind, and then I will get all this stuff into the blender and get it going because I can't wait to eat it. Hey there, friends. So just wanted to follow up with the finished product for my wicked hot pepper sauce. I definitely wouldn't recommend anybody trying to follow the recipe I created. I will go ahead and write it in the comments, or I'm sorry, in the video description. So if any brave souls want to try it for themselves, they can. But I sort of regret making this. I tried it and I was crying and cussing about why I was still eating it. And then it hit my stomach like a fiery brick, and I had to go sit outside and sweat it out. I was fine after about 5 minutes. It was touch and go there. The only thing that kept it down there for a second was the knowledge that if it came back up, it was gonna burn worse. So that definitely helped me keep it down. But I've eaten it since then. As long as I don't eat it on an empty stomach, I'm not gonna say I'm fine, but it ends up being fine. So I wish that the color was showing up on camera as well as it does in person. It is very red looking in person, but I used a large variety and a whole bunch of culantro in here because I love that cilantro flavor, but I'm one of those people that has a love-hate relationship with cilantro. And culantro doesn't have that soapy flavor, so definitely a great addition for me. Anyway, that's it. That's what I've done with the majority of my harvest, I should say. The rest are gonna be in the dehydrator and go into jars for delicious pepper flakes to eat for the next year. All right, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you back here for the next video.